This video is sponsored by Tempest Tower of Probatio. Yeah, Tempest Tower of Probatio is a brand new card game, and they asked me to check it out as a guy who plays card games and see what it's all about and showcase some of its features and actually just show you what the game is all about as well, in case it's something you think you might want to play. I will say it has some super familiar gameplay. If you're a Marvel Snap player, it's going to be super easy to jump into this one. You'll understand it right away, but of course a lot of different cards and card designs and some pretty crazy features as well. Stuff like being able to ban a card from your opponent. So if you're something you just hate playing against, this game actually just lets you ban it right at the start of the game, so you don't ever have to deal with whatever Forsaken card might bug you. There's actually also a pick phase in the game as well, where you get to pick from one of 3 different hero cards at the start of every game. So you know, you can kind of change up your play style. You can see what's in your opening hand and maybe like pick a card that fills a gap in your mana curve. So that's a pretty cool little system that offers some extra strategy and some adaptability, I guess, as well. And then once you hop into a game, you know, it's really quick, fast-paced games. I think it's pretty easy to play and understand exactly what's going on, but still, you know, offers some strategic depth as well. So it's hitting, you know, players across all skill levels, both beginners and, you know, you can do some pretty crazy stuff with cards for advanced players too. For instance, I built this really cool deck that's kind of centered around this card Lakshmi. This is a 6 cost 8 power card with a cool ability. Active, the cost of cards in the hands of both players changes to 7, and this is a 7 turn game with cards that max out at 7 cost. So what you can do is, if you play this on turn 6 and you're ahead in 2 locations, basically that means your opponent and you are both limited to 1 7 cost play on the final turn, and very often that means they can only contest a single location, one of the towers on board alone, while you're already ahead in 2 of the towers. So they can flip you in 1 spot as long as you can flip them in 1 spot with a big 7 cost card, which this deck has a handful of to make sure you're hitting that really powerful 7 drop play. Then you're kind of setting up a guaranteed win. Now, some decks can kind of go wide and spread power across even with a 7 cost card, which that is a risk, but you can ban those at the start of the game using the ban phase if you spot one that's really threatening. And to support that, this deck has cards that you kind of just play alone for big singular power threats. So this is like a 6-12 to help you win a spot. This is a 5-11. This guy can often be like a 5 or 6-11 that also helps you control a spot to set up into that Lakshmi on 6 and then pull off the win. I actually recorded a couple games so that you can just see this deck in action. Okay, so we're gonna ban a card of our opponents, the Dragon Rider. Oh man, they always draw on 7. We actually care about that big 7 drops in our deck. They banned my 4 drop, the Werewolf. Okay, so now we're gonna pick our hero. If the power of the card the opponent played this turn is equal to or greater than this card's power, this card is destroyed. That's unlikely as a 4 drop. But let's see what we have in hand. We have a pretty big hand. Maybe we take a 2 here. Yeah, let's just take a 2. Let's get Gandhi here. Looking cute. All right, in turn 1, the Valhalla Champion. Definitely want to see that get cheaper if we can. Is there any reason to not play Gandhi in order to make the Valhalla Champion cheaper? So turn 5, or excuse me, it'd be 5 on turn 3. It'd be 4 on turn 4 if I hold. Then I could just go 4, 5, 6 potentially. Yeah, let's just hold. I don't think the Gandhi here is worth it. We're not too worried about the tower changing. I haven't ran into that many people with actual tower changing effects. Oh, Lakshmi, this is perfect. This is our win condition card. So this makes the cost of all cards in both players' hands cost 7, which is the max cost, which means if the opponent wants to play a big threat on the final turn, they just get to play 1 card. So our goal is basically to go into that turn ahead. So we play a big 4 drop, a big 5 drop, and then a 6 drop, and then a giant 7, and hopefully we can cover, you know, basically to match. If we're ahead in 2 spots, we're gonna be totally fine. And we can actually use the Lakshmi on top of the Valhalla Champion here too, which is pretty cool. Maybe we just give them right. So we're gonna tap. This is kind of like investing our increasing the stake of the game here. Up to 6 stars up for grabs now. It's a tap, not a snap. Okay, there's a difference. All right. So this card, he has to be alone. Otherwise, his power goes down, which actually might not be a problem for the Water Knight. But also, I think it's gonna be hard for the opponent to actually gap this turn. And then if I can just beat right with Water Knight or whatever big 7-drop we have, we're gonna be good to go. Because we're only gonna be playing 1 card next turn. So they do play the dual sword style, which, what the heck? That is sick. Places a dual sword style. That is a big 6-drop, dude. That's crazy. So yeah, they can only play 1 card, which means they can only flip 1 spot. And since we're heading 2 spots, I mean, unless they have a card like this that summons multiple threats, this should just be a win for us, because Water Knight should flip here, or we hold. Oh, they just don't play at all? Wait, what? Maybe they just knew they didn't have it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good win. Maybe the lockdown there just really hurt him. Okay, we can ban probably the Dragon Riders. This is a big. I actually like banning Uriel too, though. Uriel's a pretty good ban. Just make sure they don't have that strong standalone turn 6. That can be scary. So we got a 4 in hand and 2 big 7s. So we probably want like a 2 or a 3. Smoke Bomb. We're more likely to hit a 4 than a 2, I think. Our deck's kind of bigger in the mid section. Much like yours truly. Bigger in the midsection, classic. Okay, nothing to do on 1. Opponent's notably lower ranked than us. Oh, Hermes early. When I float energy or float mana, they gain basically, which is kind of bad. Are they gonna play this follow-up card? There's a lot of cards that get buffed if you follow up on them, so I guess we'll play this here. Sadly, he doesn't hit, but boy, if I known I was gonna draw this, I think I would have held the guy here. I mean, Werewolf is still a really good 4-drop, but this is getting 3 bigger for free right now because I'm passing on 3. It's crazy. Oh, they played a Judge, which destroys it. That's a symmetrical destroy of 1-cost cards. That's a whoopsie. That's a boo-boo. So now we've got a big Werewolf and a big Asura incoming. This is pretty nice. Actually, we can also play Champion, which is just better. It's just cleaner, right? Yeah, we're gonna tap for sure. We want to push the pressure here. No good 6-drop, but Asura is decent. He's big. He's big. We would prefer a Uriel. Right, we could maybe get away with like a Succubus as well. It's just pretty big, right? If I need actually Lakshmi as well would be nice, but no, this is fine. Yeah, this gives us the 2 big strong cards left and mid, and then, you know, you just like Water Knight left or right, I mean, or something. Water Knight a little better than Oni because of his ability, perhaps. Hero of Old. I haven't seen this. Increases the power of your cards with no abilities in all zones by 2. Okay, so this should be fine. I mean, they can technically play 2 cards, but there's no way those 2 cards are going to be enough. Like, you know, they can't both be, like, one could win, but they can't win 2 spots. It's impossible. It is big, but like we said, can't win 2 spots. So the Tempest folks provided some notes here on sort of the monetization model and some of the sustainability they think it supports. Basically, as I read this, every time the season resets, you're going to get your summon tickets back. Like, summon tickets are what you use to unlock the cards. You get 1 at a time. And then you'll be able to re-roll those summon tickets in a new season. So presumably if like new cards are added within a new season, you get another chance to hit those new cards. That does also sound to me like your collection kind of changes. Like, cards you used to have will now become new, different sort of things instead, which I guess could offer like a lot of different experiences because you have to build new and different decks, but that also could be kind of intimidating too. If you had things you really liked, you may not always get them back. They do note that when you're drawing summons, you do have no duplicates in the summon pool. You'll always receive a card you don't have with each one of the draws, but I will note that's true, but you can get the variance as one of these summons. If you look at the drop rate info here, right? So like the chance to get a card is actually 35%. Your chances to get a variant, therefore, are basically 65%. Now, once you get the you know, the variant for any given card, of course, that's going to be taken out of the pool, and you'll go back to new cards. I mean, you know, eventually you'll get to just where you have all the variants for your set, and then as you get a new card, you might get variants for it. But anyway, you know, I think personally, I got kind of sad a couple times when I hit like pixels or anime variants in a row of the same card. It's like I got a new card and then I got the pixel and then I got the anime, you know, instead of getting new stuff. But that's not necessarily an inherent problem. It just depends on how many summons you get, and I don't really have a good sense of that yet. If you're getting a ton of summons anyway and moving through your collection, you know, it's fine to get some cool bonus variants and complete the collection. You just need to make sure you're getting new cards often enough. The Tempest folks also wanted to note that for all new Tempest players, you are guaranteed a free trial as your first day login reward. This is a one-time only chance and allows you to copy other players' decks and play games with those for a limited time, even if you don't own the cards. You can actually even check out other people's decks on the leaderboard to see what's winning. Like this deck's winning with Galahad and Chupacabra, increases power by 1 for each of your other cards. That's cool. Cute little Chupacabra there. So I guess you can probably copy these. I didn't actually do this. I just kind of dove into my collection, but definitely some possibilities. Also just recommended decks to start with as well across different archetypes. Yeah, so that said, if you want to check out Tempest Tower of Probatio, there's going to be some links down in the description and pinned comment below. This game's available on both mobile and Steam right now. Of course, it's free to download, so you can just hop in, check it out, try out some cards, see if this one feels like a fun option for you. They've, you know, said time and time again that they don't expect this to necessarily be your main game, just something to play on the side for a little fun. And I have to say, I've been having fun playing this. You know, it's cool to see a familiar mechanic but interpreted in new ways, and you know, with new card designs and imagining how those might apply into something like Marvel Snap as well. So fun little side game that kind of gives you some practice and brushes up on skills that can be useful in other games as well. Yeah, so thanks again to the Tempest Tower of Probatio folks for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you for watching and supporting stuff like this on the channel. Definitely helps make everything possible. That said, thanks as always, and until next time, game on.